Hey, this is just Jeff. Looks like my camera's not going to be blurry and it kind of shakes a little bit, which I apologize for. Let me ask you just a couple things. This is life story one and what you would do in a situation. I have a lot of people tell me that they're going through situations. They'll get something at a store. The stores no longer will honor warranties. I have a lot of situations where people, they have cell phones and they call up the cell phone companies and they get overcharged and they get sent to collections and stuff that never happened to them. I have other people that go out and buy brand new cars, myself included. Not new, but used stuff. Then all of a sudden you're paying twice as much, or all of a sudden in all these contracts and paperwork you get, you're looking through it and you don't understand it, not realizing that they're charging you about $1,000 or a couple $100 more for a tire rotation and an oil change that you could go somewhere else and do. You know, you're getting, when you go to the hospital and everything, and all of a sudden there's all this paperwork and they take advantage of you when you're sitting there grieving or you're dealing with loss or something, and next thing you know, you're signing paperwork or agreeing to a commercial ad that had nothing to do with being in the ER and stuff like that. Every day I kind of ask people, and I just kind of like to get a feel on what's going on for it. You know, why don't you ask people what's going on? They're like, well, I've Googled it. Well, Google never passed a bar exam. Google doesn't know the legal system or how things work. They don't know how to read contracts or anything like that. So what if you had the option, even if it's something just asking about road work or, state, something that where you can call up a lawyer and you can ask them unlimited questions on unlimited situations, and you can call them up Monday through Friday and from say 9 in the morning till 5 o'clock at night, and you get a law firm that represents the state that you're in, and the intake person will sit there and they'll call you back within 6 to 8 business hours. You don't have to go in, but they call you back and it doesn't cost you anything. Would that be worthwhile? Now, I ask that because even today alone, I've had a lot of people bring up the fact that situations in their life happen and they would have done anything just to have the answers to it, and they went online and they couldn't figure out the system by going on to Google, on to Yahoo, on to all these big search engines, and they could not figure out what they're looking for because there were so many answers. I had a lot of people call me up within Quincy, Illinois. We used to have Comcast, which is switched over to Xfinity now. And so many people had certain questions like, why are their prices so high in Quincy but lower everywhere else? And how come there's no competition? Because Quincy has less than 40,000 people, 20,000 on the inside of Quincy, within 40,000 on the outskirts. So you have to ask yourself, what is it worth to have your questions and any type of question answered, for whether it be warranties, tires, something like that? What is it worth to you to have those questions answered? Sorry, I was looking at the person next to me. I thought it was somebody I knew. They literally parked right next to me. But what is it worth, to ask questions so that keeps you from having to go to court, or keeping, you just want to know if somebody's treating you fairly. Anymore nowadays, it's hard to trust big business. It's hard to trust companies, So just that simple question there. What is it worth to you to be able to have those questions answered? Be able to call up right now. They're going to call you back the same day within 6 to 8 business hours. I say that, but if you call them up, it could be the next day if it's within the 6 to 8 business hours. Most of the time it's about 20 or 30 minutes, but don't hold me to that one. But the reason why I ask you this is because all these people, they have all kinds of questions. And I'm sorry, but I've never taken a law class in my life, in college or anything else. Yes, I've taken all kinds of history classes. I've taken economics. I've taken, you've named it, I've taken the class in college. When I was in the Marine Corps, I've seen all kinds of legal issues. My friends deal in parts and cars and stuff like that, and I've seen all kinds of legal stuff there. A lot of my friends are police officers and firefighters and stuff, which, everybody always hears me commending them. But even they have all these questions, and then people are always asking them questions, but they can't answer them. only a litigator, only a lawyer can actually give you the proper answers to some of these questions. Some of them, there's so many gray areas that if you do try to answer them on your own, it's hard. So what do? That's where you come into play at. That's where I can help you. Anyway, I just wanted to ask you that question right there. And if that is something that you always wondered, to be able to have the access to be able to call a lawyer between 9 to 5 every day, Monday through Friday, and ask them questions over anything, unlimited amount of questions on unlimited issues and subject matter, what's that worth to you? Just throwing it out there. Anyway, talk to everybody soon.